What is going on, guys? Chris Rudnik here, and today is the day that we're going to start working on the CRX. Now, we have a long road ahead of us. We have a ton of things that we actually need to do to this car. But step number one is we need to test fit the B18 GSR into the CRX to make sure everything clears right. I have a 1320 turbo manifold as well. I'm pretty sure they're for the EK, but what I read is you can make them work on like the EG, the CRX. They're kind of the same with just slight modifications to the front subframe. Now, we don't know how much we're gonna actually have to modify this. Right now, Jordan's currently just taking it off because I don't think we can actually get the engine into the car with this subframe being in here. So he's doing that. We got the Has Sport mounts. Now these things are money, dude. I can't actually wait to test these and see how they fit and everything. But we got the mount there. We also have this mount right here, which this is a good thing that we're doing this right now because I had to completely hack this engine mount right here due to I spent $40 on eBay for the Racer Civic for the mounts, and they were just so not right at all. They were completely wrong, and I had to like literally cut all of this and like hack the hell out of it just to get this engine. Oh no, it was the B20 first, and then I transferred it to this. But to get the B20 into the Racer Civic, I had to cut this all up. So we're actually gonna have to get another one of these ears because you can see that obviously we're missing a hole there, but for test purposes it's gonna work today. The engine's not staying in the car. We actually need to take it back out so we can tear this apart. We can get pistons, rods, look at everything, see what we need, and actually bring this thing to the machine shop. Jordan, you're talking about wanting to build this in-house. Is that something you want to do?
I mean, it definitely needs to go to a machine shop to get decked on the head and the block, but other than that, as long as the cylinder walls look good, I don't see a problem doing it here.
So pistons, rods, everything. That's gonna be my first actual like engine build myself.
You're gonna be able to use your fancy torque wrenches.
Yeah, I have so many torque wrenches and we don't really have to use them much unless it's like a clutch or something that actually matters. But anyways, Jordan's taking off this front subframe. We're gonna start to get everything ready, and we're just gonna start filming when we're ready to put this thing in the car. All right, so we took the front subframe out. We have this mount actually tightened in the car, ready to go. This one's just loosey-goosey, so we can, when the engine's coming up, we can actually adjust it. And then we have the last mount right here. This is fully mounted, ready to go. But what do you call this, Jordan? Is this like a T-bracket? Yeah, it's a T-bracket.
It's just Honda's way of mounting a transmission.
And the engine from going like this, right? Because that's why that's there.
I guess that would be called a torque mount then.
It's a torque mount. So we got the T mount. T, torque, whatever. We're gonna put this in when the engine's actually going in, because if we were to put this on, you can't actually.
Yeah, because it would just...
Yeah, you can't do that.
It would just, you do one of these.
Yeah. So just like so.
Which, not much clearance on that actually.
Where does this go again? I'm having a brain fart. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. That's why you're here. So we're gonna raise this up, we're gonna put this under and start to lower the car onto it. I'm gonna try to get a better time lapse. Don't ask me what the hell that was. I didn't align anything. All right, guys, so we're about, I'm gonna say 85% in right now. We're pretty close to the mounts. Yeah, that's not 85%, but you know what I mean. We're already running into a couple issues. You can see the alternator right here. It doesn't have much clearance from the alternator to the rear sub. What do you call that? Is that the rear subframe?
Rear subframe.
Yeah, the rear subframe right there, which is fine and dandy. We have clearance, but until you look at this mount, and the engine still needs to go back probably 2 inches, and that's definitely less than 2 inches. So maybe, should we just take the alternator off for now? Because we know that
the alternator will fit, but it's not going to fit with it in the car unless you can tilt the motor forward, lift it up, and then tilt, which doesn't work. You can't do that.
I'm wondering,
unless you want to take this mount back off, because that's pretty much what we're stopped on right now.
Yeah.
You can keep going up, just not with that mount like that.
Well, can't we just push this back to bring it in there?
it's going to be cockeyed because the alternator is going to hit the...
Yeah, I think the best bet right now would be just to take the alternator out because we know it's an issue. Maybe they make like it's either they make a bracket to move that a little bit or we just cut the subframe.
I don't know, once it's up, it's still...
You think it'll work once everything's in?
It's still got another 4 inches to go up. It should work.
So are you saying that we take it out and then we're going to be able to put it back in when the engine's actually bolted up?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to try that. We're going to take the alternator out and continue lifting this. Okay, so you can see now that the alternator is out. So now we're going to continue to lift up the engine and see if there's any more problems along the way. So I guess this is why you test fit. This mount fits perfectly right here, but it seems that we're gonna need a different ear that actually bolts up to the block because this one doesn't line up whatsoever. Maybe, oh, did you figure that out?
Well, I didn't figure it out, but I got the bracket in place. As you can see, it's...
Holy crap.
very off.
It's very off. We're looking at this. Like this right here is supposed to be connected to that mount. And this is correct with the transmission in the block right there. So what the hell are we gonna do, dude? What is that?
I have no clue, actually.
I don't like that sound. That's interesting, to say the least. I don't really know what to say. Is the EG or the torque mount different than EK's?
I wonder if we're insanely stupid or not.
Why would we be insanely stupid?
No, we can't be insanely stupid.
You know what I want to try? I want to try to get a bolt in there on that mount, and I want to see if we can just move this at all, because like this is kind of close. So if we can kind of manipulate the engine to do what we want to get that bolt in. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do for the rear. I think this is an EK mount, the transmission mount or torque mount. I don't know what to call that, T mount. So maybe we need to get an EG or CRX one. I don't know, I'm talking out of my ass. All right guys, so I stopped talking out of my ass. I actually called a friend, Young Static Matt, put his stuff in the description below. He's got a YouTube channel. He does all of this Honda stuff. So I just gave him a call and he literally solved all of our issues within 5 minutes. So we bolted up this mount wrong. There's actually 2 bolts. You can see one maybe right here. There's 2 bolts on the right of this closer to the driver's side. So this mount actually sits closer. But this is an EK T mount. We need a 90 to 93 DA Integra mount right here, which I might have. We're gonna go through some bins right now, but this is no good for what we need it. And we also need 93 DA post mount. It's a post mount, right?
Yep.
Post mount right here. To be honest, I have no idea what year this is from, but we can just order that and try to get that here as quick as possible. But we know we can't use that, and we're gonna try to find the other one, because I'm sure I have it, because I did do a DA part out last year. I just have 7,000 bins, so. Are you all right over there?
My bad on that back.
I mean, have you ever put a GSR into a CRX?
No.
And I haven't either, so this is all learning. The whole point of this video is to literally for test purposes, and it's good that we're running into problems now, because when we're actually ready to put it in the car, we don't have to worry about any of this. So I'm kind of an a-hole for this. This is definitely my fault. When I first came back to Florida, the shop wasn't how I wanted it and everything, and I was on a throwaway streak, man. Like, Jordan, how many bins do you think we threw out?
Semi-truck.
a lot of bins, and a lot of those bins were Honda parts, and I wasn't even thinking. I was just like, throw it out, throw it out, throw it out, and I threw out the DA stuff like an idiot. So good news is we know what we need. We're gonna actually sit down real quick. We're gonna order all of that. We're gonna try to get it all as quick as possible, because we want to get this thing test fitted so we can figure out what holes we want and what we don't want, so we can bring this to Tommy so we can weld some holes there, primer, boom, boom, paint the bay, boom, boom, everything is good there. We also need to see if this fits, but we can't even do that because we can't get the subframe in. The whole purpose of test fitting this is because we think it's gonna hit the subframe, right?
It's not gonna hit the subframe.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
Dude. Everything is so close. Like, if you can see that crank pulley zoom in right there, Matt, that is really close. If you see the transmission right here, that is super close. Honestly, the intake kind of has a lot of room right here, so that's good. I was talking to Static on the phone, and he did say we're gonna have a little bit of trouble with the alternator, with the belt. When you go to tension the belt is actually gonna hit the side of the frame rail, so he thinks that we're gonna have to bang that out.
This is gonna be very close, but it is not gonna hit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the instruction said it was gonna hit.
I don't see.
Are you calling them liars?
Yes, I'm calling them.
Oh, you're calling them liars, dude.
I don't know where it's gonna hit, because I see that, yes, the subframe does come up, but it's only about an inch at most.
Yeah,
And
it's gonna be close.
that's gonna be like right here.
I mean,
And it
worst
does
comes to
sit
worst, we have to
way
notch
forward.
it.
Yeah.
At the very least, which is not that bad. But this looks sick. I can't actually wait to see this thing ripping. But we got a little ways to go, for sure. We got a little time, a couple parts, couple $1,000 later, she'll be on the road. So
The mount that's on the subframe needs to come off for sure.
oh, like, well, we don't need that, right? So we just cut it. Cool. So I don't know. We're gonna sit down real quick. We're gonna order some parts, and at least it's kind of in, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of in. It's progress.
It's where it needs to be right now. We just don't have the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, and we're actually gonna be doing the hydraulic transmission instead of cable driven. That's much better. I like that, and they sell a pretty cheap conversion kit to able to do that.
It's cheap, but it's still quality.
Oh yeah. No, it's still Willwood and everything, but like when I originally thought it was gonna be like $500-600
very reasonably priced.
for sure, unlike other things.
Yes.
But it's whatever. I'm a little nervous about the hood clearance. You're saying it's gonna be fine?
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like, I don't know, man. Like this is where it latches, dude.
It doesn't have the fenders, and you have to remember that the hood on this comes down.
Yeah.
So the latch actually sits a lot lower than the top of the hood. It's supposed to fit under the hood. There's plenty of people that have put B-Series and CRXs
And without notching it or anything.
without anything.
And this is another worry right here, but you think this is gonna be fine too?
Yeah, just gotta find the header bolt somewhere.
We can find that in a second, but we're worried about the turbo hitting the actual like radiator support right here. But regardless, this needs to get cut off anyways, because how they sell this 1320 turbo manifold is this is a precision V-band, and we need to cut this off, or a precision flange, and we need to put this to a Garrett flange because they're all different. Go ahead, dude. It's not clocked, but oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that looks fucking sick, dude.
It's fine.
It really is fine.
I mean,
Wow, that's so sick.
and mind you, I want to put the bolts in the flange in the header just so that because it would actually probably sit closer like this.
Yeah, it'll actually be better
Yeah.
than it is right now. Yeah, that's cool. And what I think we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be getting a whole custom exhaust, but we're actually gonna do a full exhaust, and I want to obviously put the wastegate here, but I want to tie it into the exhaust so it's not just screaming all the time. I want this thing to just everything be right, you know, instead of just having a screamer pipe out the top. Don't get me wrong, that's cool, but so many cars that I have that.
This is like your dad's Honda build.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be super sick. I'm really excited for it. All right, I'm procrastinating. We gotta order these parts. Okay, so I did a little more digging. Bad news is we can't find the T-bracket. I knew I didn't have a post mount, so we need that regardless. I have a few friends that are into Hondas around the West Palm Beach area. They're gonna check for me tomorrow. They just can't check today because they're not at their shops because it is Sunday. Good news is I found the DA knuckles for the front, the DA rear control arms, because it's all one piece for the rear. And to be honest, I don't even know if I ever saved the T bracket for the DA, but because I was actually doing the opposite. But yeah, kind of sucks. But regardless, we don't even really need that stuff right now because we know this fits. We know everything clears. Like, we were a little worried about the transmission there and just how everything would fit, but it looks to be pretty good. So I'm not even in a serious rush to get that stuff. If they have it tomorrow, sweet, we'll get it, and we can finish putting this together. But from what it looks like, the engine is sitting where it needs to be sitting. Nothing is hitting in any weird places or anything like that, and we seem to be good to go and further this build. Considering we can't do anything else with like the engine, with the mounts and everything, I started to put the turbo on. I didn't clock it or do any of that. I just wanted to see if it would look like it would clear the hood. Jordan is still saying 100% it's gonna fit. Worst comes to worst, we'll have to like cut out the little skeleton just like right here. I don't know, man, it's looking pretty freaking close, but it's gonna look sick. We got the turbo on, we got the wastegate. Like I said before, I want to get a downpipe made and have the external wastegate flow into the downpipe so it's just not super loud. I want this thing just to be set up sick, but this is it, dude. It is coming along. I think the next thing, now that we know this is gonna fit, we're a little worried about the radiator. We're probably gonna end up doing a half radiator and trying to just fit it inside of the radiator support right here. Everything is gonna be super close, but that's what you gotta do to make a semi-race car. Is this gonna be a race car?
I mean,
with this thing, dude, it's gonna be a race car. It's gonna be a race car.
The only thing that kind of scares me is this, which is fine. Figured that one out, but that's like tight in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fire sleeve that and everything. It's not gonna be fun to set up. I mean, we can clock this V-band out of the way, so that's not there. Like, this is the return, so obviously we didn't clock.
Upside down.
Yeah, it's upside down.
Gotcha.
So
Fully upside down.
Yep. But this is what
the coolant's gonna end up in the same spots.
Yeah, and we already ordered the stuff to run the coolant lines and stuff, so hopefully we can do that soon. But we don't want to jump the gun or anything. We're actually going to take the engine back out right now, and we're just going to figure out what holes that we want to keep, because we kind of want to go to Tommy. Honestly, I would love to send this to Tommy sometime this week so we can start to weld some holes and start to get this shaved and start to paint it. So we can, while he's doing that, we can take the engine apart. Before we order pistons or rods, we want to take a look at the block, see if there's any scoring inside the cylinder walls, see if this engine actually needs a bore out, and it would just suck to order pistons and stuff and have to bore out the engine and just waste a bunch of time and money. So we're going to take it apart first. While the head and stuff is getting decked, everything is getting cleaned, pistons, rods, they'll be on the way, and by the time we get it back from the machine shop, pressure's on you, man. I'm not taking lead in building the engine. That's all you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you're taking the lead in that.
I've thrown a few pistons in some engines before.
Hopefully we do this one right. I mean, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool for content and everything, so hopefully you guys are stoked about that. But let's take the engine out of this so we can start to get this ready for Tommy. A few clips ago, I was like, the engine doesn't really have to go back in. We know it fits. But I kind of lied, because the engine does need to go back in, because my boy Static is saying that once the alternator is fully tensioned, the bell is gonna rub against like the frame rail somewhere over here. So we need to get that T bracket, and we also need to get that post mount that goes onto the engine, so we can get that all bolted up so we can actually drop it from the table over there, and we can tighten the alternator full tension and actually see if it rubs, and if it is rubbing, where, so we can actually hit it and try to make it look as nice as possible, because we're not gonna freaking get this engine bay painted and then start wailing away. What are you doing over there, Wrench?
I'm gonna put the mounts in the right holes.
Oh, yeah. So you guys couldn't see it before, but we bolted it up here. There's actually some bolt holes there that we just didn't know, so, you know.
I thought it lined up with the original one, but it doesn't.
Yeah. We've never done this. We're learning, you know?
Just have Tommy do the more professional job. Cut this section out and then
And like notch it?
Yeah, box
it's not
it
a bad
yourself.
idea.
I kind of like that, but we need to know where to notch it.
Exactly. We're not just gonna notch the whole thing.
Place, but that's
Yeah,
I like that idea.
we're with you, but we can't do that until we have that bracket in the post mount. But Jordan's just gonna move that, and kind of sucks because I want to keep like going on this, but I don't want to put the fenders on or anything if it's gonna go back to the body shop because it's gonna get all gross. But baby steps. The good news is we're motivated to get this thing going. So
we still have to order all of our zinc plated hardware.
dude, we are zinking. We're doing that. We're gonna be zinc boys for sure.
Full zinc, full billet.
Full NASA
OEM.
to Mars, baby.
OEM.
Would you, if you had the opportunity to go to Mars, would you do it?
Yeah,
Re-
only if I was in a vapor-honed rocket.
You're an asshole. I would never go to Mars. I like Earth too much.
Zinc-plated hardware.
Zinc plated hardware? Jesus. You know it takes 9 months to get there. What the fuck would you do for 9 months?
Bro, I can't tell you what I would do for 9 months, but I'd have something to do for 9 months.
Jesus, I'm gonna put down the camera because now I'm really intrigued. So we're looking at the engine bay right now. Jordan, what are you thinking right now?
So we're thinking like, so it's not going to be like a SEMA show car, but then again, it's also not going to be like a a daily driver, a car you take out once in a while. It's going to be a track car, so we're going to keep vacuum brakes.
Yeah, because I can't deal with no booster for sure.
We're going to keep the heater.
Just because if it rains, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, so we don't have foggy windshield, don't have to deal with that, but we're definitely going to be taking off the fuel filter bracket, all these little studs that mounted the heat shield on here. I don't know if we want to put that back on there or if we'll just do something on the inside instead to keep the heat out. But like just little things like cutting this ear off.
Yeah, because we're going to be relocating the battery to the back, and that was literally just to hold the battery tray.
So just for a battery mount, of course, all these bolts can come out.
We can just weld all of those shut.
That. Then again, there are a few, like we're probably going to keep this one for the ground strap exclusively.
Yeah, and there should be one over here, right? I think it's this one. Something like that.
Yeah, but no, it's right here.
Oh, cool.
Or it's right there.
Yeah.
One or the other. It doesn't really matter. We just need a...
We just got to keep one of them, right?
Yeah. But like all the little holes, all the places where there's like little plastic over them and whatnot, we'll just get rid of all those. And then pretty much we just need a hole in the firewall for the harness to go through. Like that would have been for your AC.
Yeah, but we're not even gonna. At first I kind of wanted AC, but I really want like as little things as possible in the engine bay. And AC takes up a lot of stuff, especially with this whole turbo setup. It's gonna be really tricky to try to get a condenser. And let's be honest, I'm never really gonna daily this car. So do we really need AC?
Windows down.
Windows down, heat on, brother. That was a Connecticut thing. Top down, heat on.
Dude, that's kind of weird.
What, top down, heat on?
No, the brake lines. The brake lines for the rear. All right, so master cylinder, the lines go to the proportioning valve, and then these two lines go into the firewall, and they run along on the inside.
Yes, that's so weird because the gas lines run right there
Also
inside the car.
The whole filler neck, everything, the whole fuel system is basically inside of the car, which is very strange. But
yeah, but to be honest, I kind of like that this is your feed line and this is your return line. I like that it's just right there. It's behind the intake manifold. We can probably convert this to an AN line. So like that stuff will be super easy when it comes time to do that. But to be honest, I think we have a pretty solid game plan of what we need to do and what needs to happen. And I'm pretty stoked on it. I think we can start really diving deep on this thing pretty quickly.
Just a lot of little like little rust holes and whatnot on here, but like mind you, the engine bay has not been touched. The whole rest of the car is 100%.
Yeah, we just wait on the engine bay because the engine was still in and stuff.
Cleaned up, you know, all the seam sealer taken off, and that's going to be probably body filled. All the little like where spot welds, I guess that these would be, that are like little indented, those are going to get filled in. It's going to be like
nice and smooth.
It's not going to be fully perfectly shaved, it's just going to be smoothed out so it doesn't have all this extra stupid little bullshit that it has. So like
what was the point of this? Why didn't they just not put it there, right? Because I bet you this has not been taken out since '89.
No.
They're just junk. But I don't know. I think we got a good game plan. I'm stoked on it. I think we're actually going to be ending the video right here. I was kind of hoping that we were going to be able to get the engine in the car and actually kind of work out all the kinks, but I'm an asshole and I don't have the T-bolt or the post mount. So hopefully the connections that I have get back to me by tomorrow. We can shoot over down to Miami or wherever we need to go, and we'll get this thing on the road as fast as we can. I don't want to say quick because it's a lot of freaking work. It's a lot of prepping. It's a lot of fabrication. There's a lot of things that are going to go into this car that some things we just can't physically do here. So, or we probably could, but it wouldn't come out the way we wanted. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to subscribe for more, subscribe for more. We will see you guys in the next one. You like being in the bay, dude?
Love it, man. I'm a little D15.
Yeah.
That's a one George Z right here.
One George Z. I guess if shit hits the fan, dude, you could be my engine. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
So this is what it sounds like when Chris plays Mario Party.
Get the lettuce, bitch. Go! Where the fuck am I going, dude? Fuck you, Jordan. Just go, just go. I'm distracting him. Fuck you, Jordan. No. Fuck you, Jordan.
Zinc plated.
Zinc boys.
Full zinc.
Zinc plated hardware.